from the Kingdom in the Great Northwest, Seattle, CBS Sports presents the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Thacker with Johnny Unitas, and the two youngest teams in pro football meet today. And what will they call this? What else? Expansion Bowl 2.
Well, the Buccaneers, of course, Jim, their great defense anchored by the Shellman brothers, along with Dave Peart in the middle and Council Rudolph, have only permitted 55 points scored against them so far this year. And on the other hand, their offense, or the lack of offense, let's say, have not scored a touchdown yet, but they will have an opportunity to play against the Seattle Seahawks, whose defensive team have allowed 126 points scored against them, 1,513 yards. So we shall see what we shall see this afternoon.
Well, exciting thing here for these two teams, John, is that one of them, at least, has a 50-50 chance of winning his first game of the 1977 season. The Seattle Seahawks in the blue, the home team, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wearing their white. As you look up from here from the end zone, Seattle won the toss of the coin and will receive, so Tampa Bay will kick off the start of the ball game. That means that end of the ball game for Seattle will be Al Hunter. In the much publicized Notre Dame case, find here's a rookie. On your left and on your right is Walter Packer, another rookie from Mississippi State. They're the double safety setup, and number 4 is Dave Green, who will be kicking off for Tampa Bay in his 5th year from Ohio University, former Bengal of Cincinnati, and we're about set to go from Seattle. Tampa Bay shooting for its first victory ever after 18 consecutive losses, and Seattle also winners for this year. Coming up is Packer at the 12. Packer the 20. 25, and trips up as it goes over the 30-yard line. Filled by number 53, Mike Jones. Or rather by Rick Barnes for the Buccaneers. And here's the offensive line for Seattle. You see the original Dolphin, number 73, Norm Evans, still playing at right tackle. The wide receivers, including Steve Largent, a sensation last year in his rookie season for the Seahawks. And Steve Meyer starting for Jim Zorn again at quarterback, with Sherman Smith, number 47, and number 42, Don Testament, the running back. This is Smith and the tailback on the first play of the ball game for Seattle. Sherman Smith trying to swing to the right side, gets a short gain up to about the 35-yard line, and he's hit down there by Richard Wood, number 54, who scored the only touchdown of the season thus far for Tampa Bay. In the defensive line, you see part of them, Freeland front for Tampa Bay with Leroy Selman, the Outland Trophy winner from Oklahoma, anchoring on the right side. His brother Dewey has been switched to linebacker, playing the strong side linebacker on the inside. There the linebacking core and the deep back. A couple of former Dolphins in there, including Jarvis White and Cedric Brown. Second down, and about 8 yards to go for Seattle. First pass of the game, and loose was thrown in by the tight end by Dick Ferguson. Wide receiver on the right side, and Steve Meyer connects immediately. Jarvis White hit him down, but it'll be a first down.
Let's take a look at it right here. As you see Meyer going back on a three-step drop, a little quick slant right behind the linebacker. There's the completion, fine throw, and a fine hit immediately after the catch.
Several trades been made here, Johnny, by the Seattle team. That was one of them, Duke Ferguson, who came over from the Dallas Cowboys. As Seattle, an offensive-minded team against the defensive Tampa Bay, and a little bit edgy, perhaps, with Dave Peart, who, by the way, is having a homecoming today. Dave played right here in Seattle from the University of Washington.
And he's an outstanding man for over the middle for the Buccaneers. There you see him right there moving into the offensive center. And we have an encroachment call.
Those guys played against each other in college, John, when Peart was in Washington and Art Kuhn was at UCLA. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League, and it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. Okay, here's Steve Meyer, who's been pressed into service here for Seattle with the injury to Jim Zorn in Tampa territory for the first time today. First down, 5 to go. Up the middle, a little short pass to Smith. He's short of the first down. Stopped down the 45 by Richard Wood again. A linebacker, one of the 7 Southern California players on this team for John McKay. There's Sherman Smith, who was drafted as a wide receiver, was a quarterback in college, and now a pretty good running back.
Not bad. They've been doing a real fine job so far. And this young football team, as we mentioned before, Jim, that both of them just kind of feeling each other out right here, especially the offensive team of the Seahawks, trying to keep it on the ground. Only one throw so far this afternoon.
Second down and 2. It should be a play here for Meyer to pull something he wished. A little play action. A pitch back to Sherman Smith, and he will not get the first down. There's that tough Tampa Bay defense. Counsel Rudolph, a venerable veteran from Kentucky State, rode him down, and I believe short of the first down.
I believe Counsel Rudolph must have been playing for years and years. When I was playing, he was playing. I thought he was a lot older than that, but he is the oldest man on the Buccaneer team. That's, 27 years old, I believe.
Oldest man, and he's the senior at a ripe old age of 27. Certainly a young ball club as John McKay building from the ground up. Okay, here's the first third down and big play for the ball game thus far. Steve Meyer has to call it on 3rd down and 1. And they give us to Sherman Smith. Coming to the left side, he will not get it. Oh, he is pounded back hard, and breaking through was Richard Wood once more, and 3 big defensive plays by Richard Wood, a weak side linebacker on the inside, and the 3-4 setup.
Let's watch the charge of the defensive line there. You see why Richard Wood was able to come in and stop the runner for getting the first down. Good aggressive play by Richard Wood and a host of other tacklers of the Buccaneers.
Cedric Brown, the free safety, being one of them. Okay, back to set up to receive the punt is Isaac Hagan. There he is, and he can literally fly. In the punt is Herman Weaver, the old thunderfoot for Seattle. Fourth and about 3, and Weaver puts it in over in. Hagan calls for a fair catch and can hold it. Could be a big break in the game. Scrambling up the 10, and it is Seattle ball. Peter Cronin, watch the play again.
Watch the replay and watch Hagan's eyes. I don't believe he follows the ball into his hands. He's looking downfield. See where someone's going to be able to help him. And there you see, he does not get his hand on the football. And the recovery is made by 57 of the Seahawks, Peter Cronin.
Well, he's been a standout of the specialty teams here, John. Peter Cronin has, and the first big break of the game goes for the Seattle Seahawks. A 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. Almost first and goal. They give it to Smith, flies the middle, a couple of judging yards, pounded back by Richard Wood and Dave Hare.
This is where the area gets tough down here now. They're inside the 10-yard line, and you really close everything down. You have to come up with some real good execution of plays when you're down here, because that defense is going to be coming as hard as they possibly can. We have to see whether or not the Buccaneers are going to be up to it this afternoon.
Well, this is a strong suit for Tampa Bay, and you're looking at Steve Meyer, second-year quarterback out of New Mexico, second-string quarterback for Seattle. Second out of that goal. Meyer looking for the end zone. Meyer with time, fires it incomplete, headed down around the 5-yard line for the tight end Ron Howard coming across the green, and it will be a 3rd down now. Jarvis White was over there covering from his left corner backing post. So Meyer, on a second down attempt, now faces 3rd and virtually goal to go from the 8-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The plays are coming in from up here in the press box. Bill Nelson will send them down on the field, and they'll be run in and out to Steve Meyer. And let's see what Bill calls from this position.
Got Largent to the left and Ferguson to the right. The wide receivers bringing Largent in motion. Now here's Meyer looking. He's going to Largent. He's there. Touchdown. Beautifully run pattern by number 80, Steve Largent.
There's a good play, and I called that Bill Nelson was calling the plays. I got the teams mixed up here, Jim. That's Jerry Rome was up here in the press box, an old quarterback out of Tampa, now calling the plays for Steve Meyer. So it was a fine catch and a fine throw.
And Jerry Rome coached Steve Largent in college down at Tulsa, so he knows the man to go to. The try for the point by Leipold is good. So the Seattle Seahawks draw first blood in this expansion bowl 2. The Seahawks go up 7-0 over Tampa Bay in the first 5 minutes of today's game from the Kingdome in Seattle. Next Saturday on CBS Sports Spectacular, 4 exciting events coming your way as heavyweight Leon Spinks faces Scott Lideau. Light heavyweight Michael Spinks meets Gary Summerhays. And heavyweight Bernardo Mikado faces Greg Johnson. Followed by the world's strongest man competition next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on the CBS Sports Spectacular. And John, a friend of old Jack Patera, is going to be in that strong man competition.
Oh, yeah. He's a pretty good friend. He's his brother, right?
Right.
Ken Patera will be one of the strongest men out there.
Now Seattle has moved ahead 7-0. They cashed in on the break. The fumble fair catch attempt that was muffed by Ike Higgins. And back deep. There's Higgins on your left. He's a serious threat to go all the way anytime he gets the ball. And Danny Reese is back there deep with him. So it is Higgins on the right and Reese on the left. John Leipold, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, won the kicking chores here midway last year at Seattle, will kick off for the Seahawks. And looks like it's going to go to Higgins. He has it on the 11. Ike Higgins, speedster, 25. Ooh, he is taken down hard at the 29-yard line by number 55-9, Charles McSwain, first-year player from Cal Lutheran, who really nailed him. And Tampa now will start again, this time from their own 26-yard line. As a matter of fact, it's the first time they've started yet to have the ball. There's the scoring drive. 4 minutes and 18 seconds, 7 plays. Seattle going in to take the lead 7-0. Now Tampa Bay for the first time. Gary Huff at quarterback. Behind him, Ed Williams, who's playing in place of Ricky Bell, and Anthony Davis. We'll set the lineup for you in a moment. They give inside to Davis. Davis, a little bit of an opening, and he is hit hard by Ron East around the 35. There's the Tampa Bay lineup. You see they picked up Dan Mellon and Jeff Winans from Oakland. And the wide receivers, coach's son John McKay. Morris Owens, who led them last year. And a new tight end, Knob Ziegler, taken over from Bob Moore, who's out for the year. Huff again at quarterback, making his second start. Ed Williams in place of Ricky Bell with Davis. Jimmy DuBose now is moved in the lineup. He's at fullback in place of Ed Williams. Second about 6 for Huff. Gives the short man, and DuBose has the first down. I think he cracks over the 35. Terry Beast and Ron East on the stop. But a quick opening play right up the middle for DuBose, the former all-conference player from the University of Florida.
Big problem with the Buccaneers so far is not today, but the first 4 ball games, there's been a lack of consistency in their offense. Their offensive line would do something real good. They pick up maybe 25, 30 yards, and all of a sudden you get 1 or 2 holding plays. And these things do happen. They happen to a young football team. They are things, though, that can't be corrected.
All right, first down of the game for Tampa Bay. Up back again. He goes to short man. Mr. Williams back in there, and he plows his way up over the 43. Don Dufek from strong safety to make the stop. So John McKay intent on establishing his ground game here in the game. You saw the lineman a moment ago for Seattle. Here are the linebackers. Sandy Green is going to be a great one from the University of Florida. He's at the strong side linebacking post. And there are the deep backs. Don Dufek, who made that tackle, has won the strong safety spot this year after being a star of the special teams in the initial year for the Seahawks. Second down, less than 5 to go. Up the middle goes the fullback DuBose, and Tampa Bay continues to hit at the middle. Terry Beeson making the stop. They got those young players in the middle, East, Boyd, and Beeson. Either rookie or second year for those 3, and the Buccaneers are hitting straight ahead.
They're doing a fine job. The offensive line blowing out on the defensive line, moving them back off the football. We mentioned earlier in the ball game that Seattle has given up 1,513 yards in their first 4 ball games. So I'm sure we are going to see the Buccaneers stay on the ground pretty much the afternoon.
First down, here comes Anthony Davis looking for a block, trying to cut back, picks his way, and he's into Seattle territory, the 46, stopped by Steve Priest, the newly acquired free safety veteran from the Rams.
A good quick pitch to A.D. As you see, a real fine block out there by number 43, Ed Williams of the Buccaneers, and A.D. just does some fancy footwork down into Seattle territory.
Now the figures for Anthony Davis. Got a peculiar professional career this far, we'll tell you about later. There's a good look at Davis, the tailback. Second down, about 5 for Tampa Bay. Quick man again, it's Williams plowing straight ahead on brute strength. He pulls his way to almost another first down, and they have it. Ron East on the stop. And it is a first down right at the Seattle 40-yard line. So here's Tampa Bay asserting its ground game, coming back from the break that put Seattle in the lead 7-0. Ike Higgins replaced by John McKay again in the wide receiver spot. Both McKay and Morris Owens go wide to the left, with an eye in the backfield behind Gary Huff. A give to the fullback, and it'll be nothing doing this time for Ed Williams. East and Terry Beeson that time stopped us, so they may have gone to the well once too often in this drive.
Well, they're going to do that. They have been successful with it, and of course, Billy Nelson is not going to go away from it as long as he's that old quarterback adage. You have something working, you stay with it till they stop it and then go to something else. I think we'll see that play maybe 10, 15 times this afternoon. Williams is a fine runner with real strong leg drive.
John, if you say that's the thing to do, I believe it. Second down, about 9 for Tampa Bay at the Seattle 39. Here's a draw play to Davis. He's going to have to go outside. He's got the speed. Cuts back beautifully and is stopped just short of another first down. Around the 31 by Dave Brown. Boy, Davis showed he's an acrobat on that one. Watch it.
Let's take a look at it. It's a draw play right here from by Davis as he cuts back to the outside. Good blocking by Williams. Watch the move right there. In midair, he's trying to change direction there. But it was a fine tackle by Dave Brown to bring A.D. down.
Now you can see why one of his heroes was O.J. Simpson. He's very reminiscent of some of O.J.'s moves. Third down, less than a yard for Tampa Bay. Everybody's in tight, and they're going to power it with A.D., and he's got it to the 26. Eddie McMillan on the stop by Anthony Davis scores the first down. He's becoming more and more consistent runner now for Tampa Bay. Buccaneers are moving.
John McKay just did not feel that Anthony Davis came to camp in condition, and he says that A.D. now is in very fine condition, and we hope to see an awful lot of good running out of A.D. this afternoon. I know that would make the Buccaneer fans happy back in Tampa.
Well, we'll see as we get down close if they can continue to run it. Dubose tracking hard off left tackle inside the 25. Bob Lertzman on the stop. Goes to about the 23-yard line. So Williams and Dubose continue to shuttle at fullback. Both are good blockers, Williams particularly, and Anthony Davis running at tailback. Ike Higgins comes back in at wide receiver, replacing John McKay. The senior John McKay sending in the plays from the sidelines. Bill Nelson upstairs, as Johnny Unitas pointed out, relaying word down from that position. As Tampa Bay on this organized drive, going relentless toward the goal line here, back to pass, tough looking, first time it is tipped incomplete. He was trying to go to Davis out of the backfield. It was tipped by a big lineman. I think it was Dennis Boyd, the right tackle, number 68, who got him up. He's 6'6", so he really doesn't have to reach very high.
He got his hands up, but that's what the defense is told to do. If they can't penetrate, get back to the quarterback. Well, get as far as you can and raise those hands, jump up in the air whenever the quarterback's looking. But there's Jack Patera standing on the sidelines. The Seahawks have only sacked the quarterback twice this year, so Gary Huff should get some real fine protection.
Third down and 7, a big play now for Buccaneers at the Seahawks 23-yard line. Seattle bluffing blitz. Pretty good protection going down the left corner on the flag pattern, and it is out of bounds to McKay. He caught it out of bounds. Dave Brown was right there with him. A flag pattern to McKay. The ball was beautifully thrown, but just a little bit too far, about a half step, John.
Here's where it's important for an offensive receiver to know exactly where he is on the field. Just take a look and see whether or not McKay could have got his feet in bounds on this pass. There's a ball thrown perfectly. Well, he was in the air. He was trying to keep his feet in, but he was dragging him, and they just could not keep him in.
Alan Levitt, a rookie from Georgia, in to try for a 40-yard field goal to try and get Tampa Bay on the board. Number 9, Levitt. It kicks up. It looked long enough. And it is right through there. Tampa Bay has scored on its first possession, really. And so that cuts the lead down. Seattle still on top. But now it is 7-3. Seahawks over the Buccaneers.
To play middle linebacker, you got to be more than tough. You got to be a mind reader, ready for anything that comes your way. And to be really great, you got to give it that extra effort. Pabst gives it that extra effort to brew the finest quality beer. That's why we have the confidence to make the Pabst Challenge. Taste and compare Blue Ribbon with any other premium beer. Taste the difference quality makes. Pabst. Since 1844, the quality has always come through.
great day. With nothing to deliver but posters for the AC Spark Plug Buy 7, Get 1 free sale. What could be easier, right? Wrong. Do you know how many places sell AC Spark Plugs? And everyone with a poster like this is selling 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7, as long as supplies last. Sure, getting a free AC Spark Plug is a great idea. But you better move fast.
Tampa Bay has scored. It's now 7-3. Seattle, as these two teams, both expansion clubs entering the NFL a year ago, battling here in what's a very serious game for each. Both looking for its first victory of 1977. Got a good look, quick look at Dave Green. There, the deep man on the right is Walter Packer. On the left, Al Hunter, who's run the 100 in 9.3. Booming kick by Green. It's going to go to Hunter. Okay, we'll see the Notre Dame man right here from his own 3-yard line. Hunter looking for a block at the 20. Oh, a good shoestring tackle as he goes over the 20-yard line. Let's see who's that number 25. Got him. It's Curtis Jordan, I believe. Curtis Jordan with a saving tackle because Hunter was looking towards some open room.
Why it's so important on these special teams that you have all 11 men working for the one thing, and that's get down there and get that man with a football. Fine play by Jordan.
As the scoring drive, 13 plays for 57 yards, a 40-yard field goal, and Tampa Bay's on the board. Here's Seattle. Steve Meyer at quarterback, behind him Sherman Smith and Don Pesci. Meyer back on a play-action pace. A fake for the line, up the middle. He drills it intercepted. Back is Richard Wood over the 35 to 30. 25 Wood, and Tampa Bay with his first big turnover of the game. Sherman Smith makes the stop, but Richard Wood with his second interception of the season, and the Buccaneers have a golden opportunity.
And that ball was thrown directly into Sherman's hands. He didn't even have to move. You see right here, he's going to throw the football. Sherman just moved right in front of the offensive man and picked it off. That is the 6th interception thrown by Meyer so far this season.
Tampa Bay quickly to work now. The Buccaneers first down at Seattle's 23-yard line. Quick pitch to Anthony Davis around the left side. A great defensive play by Ken Geddes. Geddes, a veteran linebacker from the Rams, came here with the expansion team a year ago, makes the big play and throws him to the long.
There's a pitch to A.D. I think A.D. just got a little too far in front of his people right here. He had his mind. He was going to go outside. Did not watch the block by the tackle, so he was not able to come back to the inside. And fine play by Geddes.
Right, a good old Jacksonville boy. Loss on the play of about 4. It's second down and 14 for Tampa Bay at the 27-yard line. Gary Huff right back to looking. Huff on a screen pass to Davis. One block he needs at the 25. He can't get it, and he's pulled down the 22, but a pretty good game. The stop was made by Autry Beeman. They got back to the yardage loss plus about 1 or 2. There's Anthony Davis, an all-star for Southern California. Here next week's games on CBS. You'll see NFL action. Dallas, Philadelphia, Green Bay going to Tampa Bay. New York Giants tangling with Washington. That's the rematch. Atlanta clashing with Chicago. New Orleans, St. Louis. And Detroit and San Francisco. Consult your local listings for the game and times in your area. Now on third down. Tough. Fake. Tough fires. It is caught by Carter, but he's hit down immediately on the 20. Lois Carter grabs it on the 20, but a good defensive play by the young rookie linebacker, Terry Beeson, from the University of Kansas. So Seattle's defense was equal to the occasion after the interception. And they're going to force Tampa Bay to try for a field goal, which will be about a 37-yarder. A 40-yarder has already been made by Levitt. So Alan Levitt, number 9, is in. Holding is Dave Green, his fellow kicker. It'll be a 37-yard attempt. Right there. Tampa Bay with its second field goal of the quarter. That cuts the lead down to 1 point now. Seattle on top by a score of 7-6.
Levitt, it was the 14th kicker that the Buccaneers have used. And talking with the coach yesterday, they feel that Levitt has solved that field goal kicking problem that they've had.
There's John McKay wearing his colors, and Gary Huff talking upstairs. The mighty forces war over who shall rule the star world of the 24th century in tomorrow's powerhouse adventure of Logan's Run. Watch for it at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I say it'll be the Oakland Raiders.
I think so.
Kicking off for Tampa Bay will be Dave Green. Dave, who doubled last year, not only in kicking off, does the punting, as you know, so time he also doubles in field goal kicking.
Dave, so far this year, Jim, has kicked the ball 39 times, so you can see that the Buccaneers have had not much offense all season.
That kickoff out of bounds, so they'll bring it back for a 5-yard penalty. Also, Johnny, the 2 field goals exactly equals the entire output of field goals in the first 4 games.
So far, we have a fairly good football game. Most people didn't think that neither one of these teams would score a whole lot this afternoon.
After the interception by Richard Wood, Tampa Bay used 4 plays. They were stopped, of course, on the 3rd down attempt by a pretty stiff Seattle defense, so they're fired up also. And then the field goal, 37 yards by Levitt. And it's 7-6. I'll say we got a real good game going. Now 5 yards further back to the 30-yard line. And remember, Seattle's got those fly boys back there, Al Hunter and Walter Packer. Going toward Packer, and he's going to take it on about the run at the 20, 30, 35, 40, 42-yard line, and the day is saved by Paul Harris. Number 52, Paul Harris, a rookie from Alabama, got Packer. He might have been off and going. So Seattle takes over with good field position now. A 22-yard return by Walter Packer, signed as a free agent, is the second leading kickoff returner in the AFC. And, of course, number 1, all Floridians know, is Freddie Solomon of the Dolphins. It'll be 1st and 10 here for Seattle at the 42. Larson going in motion. They give it a tailback Smith. Sherman Smith, a good opening up the middle, flies over the 50. Oh, a strong run by Sherman Smith, who's put on about 25 pounds, and Dewey Stillman finally halted him, but it's going to be a run of about 8 or 9 yards.
Smith was the top Seahawks rusher last year against the Tampa Bay with 45 yards and 10 carries. And both of these teams now have been continuing to keep the ball on the ground, trying to maneuver and get some kind of good field position so they can maybe throw the football. Let's see what they do in the second down situation.
Second down, less than 2 to go. Ball just nosed over into Tampa Bay territory. Here's a fumble by Smith. Smith still got it. He's got the first down. He goes to 45. So Smith was able to pick up his own fumble and get a first down. Cecil Johnson stopped him. That's pretty good containment, I'd say, on the offensive line.
Very good play. They should really, the defense did not come in and get Smith back there. They had enough time. It was a little bit of a counter play and was able to pick up the first down on the situation.
Smith's the only back for Seattle rushing this game. He's carried 7 times for 20 yards. So testament thus far, Justin, for blocking only. Let's see what Steve Meyer does here on 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 45. Well, something went wrong. Somebody moved on the Seattle team. It's going to be a legal procedure, and this will cost the Seahawks a cross-up in their signal count. And looks like somebody on the right side, might have been the tight end Ron Howard, moved a little early. That moves Tampa Bay off. Let's listen.
False start, offense, number 16. First down.
Well, it was Meyer. Started pulling out of there before the count. Sometimes they'll get you just moving your head, John.
Well, the quarterback was a little bit anxious to get out of there. Just take a look at the officials there. Referee Fred Silva, umpire Ralph Moorcroft, head linesman Norm Cragsett, Vince Jacob, Bob Rice, and Charlie Musser doing an excellent job out there this afternoon.
1st and 15 for Meyer now from the 50. 1st and 15. Meyer with time. Out of the backfield. Smith can't hold it. It's broken up by Cecil Johnson at the midfield side without the line of scrimmage. The pattern that's used a great deal by Seattle, throwing to the back. They'll either go to Largent or go to the one in the back. Sherman Smith normally, although David Sims, who hasn't played a lot today, had been a key player for the Seahawks in recent games. Now it's 2nd and 15. Larson is off to the right side, and Duke Ferguson is down to the left. Passing situation. Back goes Meyer. Good luck for her. Here goes Selman after Meyer. Meyer on the run. Fires it down the sidelines for Larson. Inside the 25. Boy, what a job Larson did coming back, getting open. Jerry White made the stop.
There we got ISO on Larson here. Let's take a look at the move. A quick out and up pattern, and we saw that Steve Meyer. Steve was run out of the pocket, and as their cock come on back and help the quarterback, a fine throw by the quarterback on that. Actually on the run, throwing while he's running. Steve Larson doing a job.
That's what Larson's done this year, and of course last year he had a sensational season. And that play ends the first quarter. So the first period ends, and it's a close one after the Kingdom. 7-6 in favor of Seattle.
Introducing a new 1978 Ford Granada, the ESS. Can you tell it from this impressive $20,000 Mercedes 280 SE? Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. Granada. Mercedes. The new Ford Granada ESS. See how close you can come to the look of a $20,000 Mercedes at the price of a Granada. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Want to cut your fuel bills? Whether your house is new or old, put insulation everywhere. It can save you money. Your attic. You need a 6 to 12-inch blanket of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Walls. Full insulation. Unheated crawl space. Insulate below the floor. Live where it's cold. Insulate basement walls. See your Owens Corning fiberglass supplier to learn all about insulation. Insulation is cheaper than oil.
We're good and tough, we're the Kellys. No road too rough, we're the Kellys.
Meet the gas pincher. In our test on the 77 Pontiac Catalina, a set of these tough steel-belted radials squeeze 31 more miles out of a tank of gas than our non-radial tires. The gas pincher radial, economy and value. Only from the Kellys.
We're good and tough, we're the Kellys. Rollin', rollin', rollin'.
You're watching one of the Seagulls in Seattle as the Seattle Seahawks hold a slim 1-point lead over Tampa Bay, 7-6 as we go to the second quarter, and it's Seattle on the move again. Inside the Tampa Bay 25. First down at the 24-yard line. Wide left goes Dick Ferguson. To the right, Steve Larson, who made the key catch ending the first period. Steve Meyer behind him, Testament and Smith from the tailback. There's a little fake, and now Smith going outside on the left. 20, 15, Smith may go 10, 7-yard line. Sherman Smith, stopped by Dewey Selman. Another fine run by this former quarterback from Miami of Ohio.
Some real fine blocking right here up front by the Seattle Seahawks. Did you see Smith bouncing back to the outside? Dewey Selman coming over to make the tackle.
17-yard run by Sherman Smith.
Let's take a look at some of the blocking here on Leroy Selman. As you see, he's tied back up to the inside, trying to get outside, cannot get over top of his own man.
And Sherman Smith has carried 8 times for 37 yards. It's first and goal for Seattle. They go to Smith again. A nice time he's carried. He tries to cut back, and he just goes on his own power inside the 5. Dewey Selman and Dave Pear. And that's quite a pair. They team up to make the stop inside the 5. Drive started on the 42-yard line, so Seahawks have come quite a ways. And Sherman Smith is the man who's been carrying the brunt of the attack with that one long pass play from Steve Meyer to Steve Larson. Second down and goal at the 4. 2 tight ends in, Ron Howard and John Sawyer. All the blocking they can muster. There goes Smith again. Oh, nothing doing. He is smacked hard by Charlie Hanna. Charlie Hanna, the big rookie from Alabama, is in on the goal line defense for Seattle for Tampa Bay making the stop.
Charlie Hanna is one of the better defensive players of the Buccaneers, and he comes from a real good football family too. His father played professional football. He's got an older brother who's playing up at New England. He's got another younger brother down in Alabama. So Coach Bear Bryant has had all the handles down at Alabama and has done an excellent job with them.
That's right. Dave is now playing for the Crimson Tide this year. Third down and goal for Seattle. Tampa Bay defense has stiffened. And motion is Smith. There's a play action. Here's Marfang in for Larson. Great catch for touchdown. Oh, what a catch by Steve Larson. His second catch today for a score for Seattle. The Seahawks going through the air.
A fine catch, a fine play rider by Steve. And watch Larson as he comes from behind, catches the ball right in between two defensive men of the Buccaneers. There's a 4-yard throw for a touchdown.
And the Seahawks have struck again. Seattle goes up 13-6, and in is Leipold to try with a point after. John Leipold. He's got it. Seattle goes ahead 14-6. A passing of Steve Meyer and Steve Larson is sparking the Seahawks in this expansion bowl 2.
Who is the #1 investment firm in the East? Who is the #1 investment firm in the Midwest? Who is the #1 investment firm in the South? Who is the #1 investment firm in the West? You know who. Merrill Lynch. All around America, more investors turn to Merrill Lynch than any other investment firm. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
Five on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, with coal last night, you put in a Prestone and a freeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-up.
Prestone. We need Prestone.
Prestone. You need Prestone.
I think you see a shot of Steve Largent, number 80, over on the bench. Steve has caught 3 catches so far this afternoon for 38 yards and 2 touchdowns. And last week, he did not catch a ball at all against the Patriots. And it was the first time after 17 consecutive games that he did not catch a pass. So he's making up for what he did not do last week this week.
First time in the history of this ball club, of course, that he hadn't caught one. Here's the kick. Back is Higgins. Ike has it on the 9. 20, 25, 30 Higgins, and his each yard there. A rib rocking tackle by Sammy Green. So one Florida guy to another, and Sammy Green of Seattle puts him down after a 21-yard return by Isaac Higgins. First-year player out of Southern. There's the scoring drive, 58 yards, and a big chunk of it out of the long pass from Meyer to Larson. 4 minutes from the time elapsed, and Seattle goes ahead 14-6. They won the game last year, and Tampa Bay marred by a penalty. There's Huff, back to up the middle. Batted, look out! And Gilbert, should have been intercepted by Sammy Green. Green couldn't hold it. I know Johnny Unitas, the quarterback, hates to see those balls tipped.
Boy, I'll tell you, whenever they tip the ball, that's, it's just up for grabs. And I don't know why the defensive man for the Seahawks missed that ball. Green, number 56. As you see it right there, it's right in his hands. He couldn't hardly miss it. Next time we'll put a handle on it for him.
He was thinking about a touchdown, you know. Now Huff goes back to work. 2nd down and 10 on the 31. And off to Carter. Tries the right side with not much success. Ron East plugs up the gap from left tackle, making the stop for Seattle, and it'll be a gain of only about a yard for Lewis Carter, who was the leading rusher a year ago, number 32 for Tampa Bay from the University of Maryland. Came over from the Oakland Raiders, who had drafted him 3rd round off the campus of Maryland. And now he's been relegated back to the number 2 spot by Anthony Davis. But he's in there right now running with Ed Williams. 3rd down play for Huff. Out of the backfield to Carter. Oh, he can't hold it. Lewis Carter looking upfield. He has plenty of running room. He might have made a first down. He's made at least 7 or 8 yards. He could not hang on to it, and there's another example, John, where they need handles again. The NBA on CBS returns on October 28th with a rematch of last year's exciting championship series with the Philadelphia 76ers going against the defending champion Portland Trail Blazers. That's October 28th, 11:30 p.m. The NBA. That was the first punt for Tampa Bay coming up right here. Largent is back, or rather Walter Packer's back for Seattle. And here's the kick away by Dave Green. Floating kick, backing up. Packer takes on the 20. Good punt. Walter Packer, good coverage down there by Tampa Bay. And they take him down on the 23-yard line. Leading that charge was Barnes and Paul Harris. So when we come back, Seattle will have the ball, leading 14-6.
One step closer. One step closer. One step closer. That's what Exxon people say. One step closer. At the end of every day, Exxon's dedicated to finding energy for you. Energy for a strong America.
Ever get the feeling that you wanted to cut out?
Go home, Mustang. Mustang. Let a Mustang take you away.
This is a great time to go Mustang because this year Mustang 2 is base sticker price less than last year.
Mustang.
The 78 Ford Mustang 2 Gia. What are you waiting for?
Go Mustang.
So cut out. Go Mustang. A better idea from Ford.
In 7 years of All in the Family, you've never seen an hour-long story like this.
Ladies, I'm going to tie you up.
1 hour of comedy and drama, Sunday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Well, there's the latest in tonsorial splendor.
I'd like to look into that crystal ball and see what's in his mind. That's Coach Tom Bass on the sidelines for the Buccaneers. Hey, Jim, so far, Sherman Smith is the only back who's carried the football for the Seahawks. He has 10 tries at 40 yards.
Well, Jack Patera believes you got a good thing. Keep it going. That's Smith from the tailback right here on first down. And that's Smith again. Tries the middle break through 30, 35, 40-yard line goes Sherman Smith. And what a first half he's having for Seattle. Mark Cotney and Dave Lewis on the stop for Tampa Bay. Watch this.
Take a look at some of the blocking up front for Smith there as he takes it off the I formation, goes right up the middle. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. And it's just a matter of a foot race from here on out. 16 yards on that carry. So he has 11 attempts for 56 yards, and he's the workhorse this afternoon for the Seattle Seahawks.
First down for the Seahawks at their own 41. They lead in the ball game 14-6. Fire back. Here's another man taking a handoff, and that's David Sims. The first time it has not been Sherman Smith on the handoff, and Sims on a little off-tackle sweep stopped by Dave Lewis. In the neighborhood of the 45. They put it down to the 44, gain of 3, second down and 7. David Sims, looking from Georgia Tech. Here's the score. The Dodgers, trying to stay alive in the World Series, scored in the first inning. Well, the Yankees have been something since they came west.
Been outstanding with a bat and on field. The pitching has been real good for them.
Guidry with a great game yesterday, and Torres just as outstanding in the game before. Second down play. Back is Meyer setting up a little screen. He tosses it to Smith. 45 trying to get the midfield. Taken out of bounds short of the first down by Jarris White, a left corner linebacker for Tampa Bay. It will not be a first down. It's going to make up a third down call now for Steve Meyer, who's filling in for Jim Zorn, who, by the way, is going to be Johnny Unitas' halftime guest. So it'll be interesting to hear from this young man, one of the most exciting rookie players of the NFL a year ago. There's Jack Patera, who, by the way, once played for John McKay when he was at Oregon.
McKay, oh, wow, he's getting looks like Bud Grant up there.
Need about a yard and a half. A little option play, and they pitch it out to Sims. Gets away from that first down. 45, 42-yard line goes David Sims. Thought he might be trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Cedric Brown finally made the stop on him, but somebody over there, either Cecil Johnson, I think, had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage.
Cecil Johnson is right. Cecil could not get a hand on him as he went around the outside. Cecil looked like he had him boxed in, but had enough speed to get outside to pick up that first down.
First and 10 at the Tampa Bay 42, and thus far in this match of the Seattle offense and the Tampa Bay defense, Seattle has been the winner. And the score reflected 14-6. Meyer goes out of the backfield, and he cannot hit his tight end, Ron Howard. Howard trying to get off on the right flat. The ball was thrown a little bit wide. Dave Lewis on the stop.
Seattle is going through the quick tight passes on the tight end diagonal to the outside and a quick slant, not giving the Tampa Bay defensive line enough time to get in and to get some sacks. They have been, the offensive line has been protecting Meyer fairly well back there. Again, we know that Buccaneer line is a good one, and they're trying to get back there as best they can.
A little play action, and a pitch out to Sims. Sims cutting back, 35, and stops short of the first down the 33-yard line. Mark Cotney, the strong safety. Well, this game's being played almost completely free of any penalty. I think we've had one penalty thus far.
Last year we had 35, I believe, in the same ball game, so you can see that the players have grown quite a bit.
And you'll see here something to remember. Watch the Logan's Run, the intergalactic adventure series that hits with the impact of Star Wars, Monday 9 to 8. Tomorrow, a mighty battle looms for the control of the Star World. Third down and 2, and a key play on this drive now for Seattle, Steve Meyer. Meyer fakes, goes down to Larson. He's got the first down inside the 30. Larson will curl in from his wide spot. Mike Washington on the other side. Well, that guy's tough to cover.
He is. He's a fine receiver. He has some real good moves. Let's take a look at Larson on this play. Just a quick glance to the inside, as we mentioned earlier. Quick stuff, trying to get the offensive line into the defensive line and get their hands down. And Larson takes a pretty good sharp on that particular play. We have an injury on Dufay, who's hurt his knee, and he's probably out for the remainder of the game, Jim. So that's a tough break for the Seahawks.
Well, Danny Reeves has come in. Reeves is in place. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We'll check that for you when we go back to defense. Reeves is in here for Tampa Bay. Up the middle. Try it again. Dave Kerr made the stop this time on David Sims. They're giving Smith a rest, and I see now Smith coming back on the field. It'll be second down, about 6-7 yards to go. There's John McKay having a word. They have those great teams in Southern California, 4 national champions, and he's always been a believer in running the football. So he wants to establish a ground game here with his professional team. Sims has now picked up 23 yards and 4 carries. Meyer right straight back looking. Meyer, a little screen off the right side to Ferguson. Ferguson going across the grain, 25-20. Penalty flag is down. 10-yard line. Ferguson out of bounds, but it may be called back. Penalty flag is dropped. Mike Washington giving chase over there to the very elusive Duke Ferguson, and he showed some footwork in that one.
Ferguson has some good speed, as we see on this play, but I believe we have a holding penalty against the Seahawks. As you see, the ball being thrown to Ferguson. Now he cuts back against the grain, picks up some fine blockers, and goes out on a 10-yard line, but to no avail as we have a penalty on the Seahawks.
All right, let's listen right here to Fred Silver.
63 offense, holding.
Nick Bebout, the old stock car driving fellow from Wyoming.
And Nick's supposed to be one of the best offensive blockers for the Seahawks football team. He was a pretty good player when he was with the Atlanta Falcons, I believe. And one of his problems was the fact that he had a tendency to grab a jersey or two.
There are those that get caught for holding and those that get away with it.
That's exactly right.
That time Nick was caught. Second down for Seattle, about 17 yards to go. Here's a fake screen. Now screen to the right side, and they hit Benjamin. Tony Benjamin from Duke inside the 30. Lunges on close to the 26. Richard Wood made the stop, and Benjamin, in his first year, had to do a little of that on his own. That was a fake screen to the left, and then a screen to the right. Seattle will not hesitate to go down in the barrel of tricks. And with Zorn in there, they were really explosive, but I got to say that Meyer's been very impressive today.
Meyer's doing an excellent job. They see a shot with A.D. Anthony Davis on the sideline, not feeling too well. at this point, but Steve Meyer has been doing an excellent job, I think, calling the plays. Of course, they're coming down from Jerry Rome, but executing them and getting his people up and doing an excellent job. The offensive line has really been taking it to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have not been getting off the ball as well as they usually do.
They just pulled a tight end and put in an extra wide receiver in Sam McCullum. That Myers is going to go to the air. He's got an extra wide receiver. He's going downfield, and it is intercepted at the 5-yard line by Tampa Bay's Darius White. White over the 20, 30, and White pounded out of bounds by number 73, Norm Evans. But an interception by Tampa Bay, and for the 14th time this year, Seattle passes have been intercepted.
There's the throw by Meyer. As you see, he's overthrown, tipped up, and Darius White picks up the interception and brings it back. Meyer at that point was 7-11 for 69 yards, a 25-yard return.
Schlitz Light. Schlitz Light beer has a third fewer calories than our other fine beer, and all the taste beer drinkers expect from Schlitz.
Is that what he always drinks? Yep, it's his beer. It's the only light beer with gusto. Oh, yeah? Schlitz Light.
Beer drinkers know it took Schlitz to bring the taste to light.
Here's a few tips on how to get out of an airport fast. 1. Join the #1 club and reserve a car with Hertz. 2. Have your license and credit card ready, because Hertz will be ready for you. Just sign and go. 3. Need directions? Ask Hertz. They know the shortest route. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster.
Go, Juice! Go!
Rent a Ford from Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car. Live.
Gary Huff in the quarterback, and Johnny Unitas, I'll say this. If he wears number 19, he's got to be a pretty good passer.
That doesn't make them all bad, does it?
Johnny Unitas, number 19, was retired last week at Baltimore, and John, I think it was a great ceremony, and congratulations to you. It certainly deserved.
It was a wonderful day for me and the Mountain family and everyone combined, even Baltimore, since they beat Miami.
That was a handoff to Anthony Davis, goes up to the 35-yard line. Dennis Floyd made the stop. Well, after all those thousands and thousands of yards and many touchdowns, I'll never forget you in Baltimore, John, or anywhere else pro football is played. So number 19 will never be worn again at Baltimore. And coincidentally being worn here today by Gary Huff of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2nd down and 6 he faces at his own 35. Huff looking. Quick out to the sidelines. Grabbed over by McKay. Nope, that is Owens. Morris Owens. The 40 will not be a first down. Freddie McMillan. The only man, by the way, who's playing the... and score the touchdown in this game against Seattle, which was played in Tampa. 30-yard, a big play. They give it to Williams, and he's got the first down. Good opening, wide over, left tackle Dave Revis goes in over the 40 to about the 42. Sammy Green smacks him back. Boy, that Green 56 is going to be a great one. University of Florida. Watch the open.
Let's watch a good offensive blocking up front there by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As you see, Williams picking the hole, picking up the first down. He has great leg drive, that young man does. I remember when they played Baltimore, talking to Laird, who was a safety, just tackling him. He'd like just about pulls his fingers out of the joint trying to hold on to it.
We'll have a rundown of the scores of all the other games at halftime. And now it's first down here for Tampa Bay at the 42. Up plenty of time this time. Oh, nice. Suddenly caught and fires incomplete. Ed Williams was there. Ron East was putting on the pressure. He had a lot of time, but they must have been doing a good job downfield coverage.
He did have an awful lot of time. And I don't know why he was rolling out of the pocket, because he really didn't have much pressure. Quarterback starts doing that, he gets himself into his own trouble. And he was very fortunate to be able to get rid of that football. So far, Huff is 3 for 18 for 13 yards. 3 for 8, rather, for 13 yards. And when he gets chased out of that pocket, it's very infrequently that you're able to come back and complete that pass, especially like he tried to there.
Draw play on second and 10 to Williams. Ed Williams over the 45. He's going to go about 4 yards on the play. Ken Geddes making the tackle for Seattle. That'll be down there right on the 42-yard line. It'll bring up third down, and you see some defensive changes now on the line for Seattle. Horace Jones and Alden Roche come in at the defensive ends, replacing Bob Lertzman and Richard Harris. Now Lertzman is going to come back on, replacing Dennis Boyd, and Boyd, the rookie, will go out. So specialist changes made here by Jack Patera on third down, about 6 to go for Tampa Bay. Big play for Huff. Huff goes to sideline for Owens. He's got it for first down around the 45-yard line. Eddie McMillan covering, but a beautiful cut down there by Morris Owens, number 85.
That was a fine throw by Huff as well. And look at the protection, and the game was played by Seattle. The protection was picked up. Very good throw, right on the money. As we see, the first down for the Buccaneers.
Clock shows 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. And now we go into this down towards the 2-minute drill for Gary Huff, trying to pick up a touchdown here before time runs out in the first half. Anthony Davis on a sweep left. Davis to 40. Davis to the 38-yard line. Still there by David Brown, the right corner linebacker from Seattle. He was the number 1 draft pick at Pittsburgh a couple of years ago. Jack Patera was quick to taping and reached locations of draft a year ago. Going to have a 2-minute warning right here with Seattle in the lead, 14-6.
Should have bought Mobile One. The wireless saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
One little fender bender. I'll probably lose half a day chasing down estimates.
You don't have to chase estimates with Allstate.
I don't?
Not with Allstate's drive-in claim centers. We take care of the estimate, and we can settle up on the spot.
Just a couple more minutes.
Allstate has hundreds of drive-in locations, so you don't have to chase estimates.
What is different?
When it takes being different to be better, Allstate will do it.
That's a promise from us. The good hands people.
Back with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and down through pro football, through all of them. Otto Graham to Faber. There's never been a man around the 2-minute drill like Johnny. So John stepped in the huddle here. And Carlos watched Gary Huff faces with 2 minutes to go and about 38 yards.
Well, he's got 2 minutes to go, and he's going to have to call his 2 plays in the huddle, especially if they're passes, or one run play and a second play of pass, and then be ready to come back and get on the line of scrimmage again, or huddle up and take a timeout, and you come back in the huddle and call 2 more after that. He's got a pass play here.
Down the sidelines, and is coming across is Owens. A nice pattern, Johnny. Brought him all the way across field through the zone of the 20-yard line.
All right, now he's got to be careful. His clock is still running. It was a fine pass by Huff. They're lining up in the huddle again. Time is still not called. Now he's called timeout, 1 minute 37 seconds. Now what he has to do at this point, Jim, is he has to call 2 plays in the huddle, or 1 running play, and then just line up one line of scrimmage and throw the ball away if he wants to. But basically, he should call 2 plays, and then if they're both passes, if they're completed, call a timeout again. If it's not completed, then the clock automatically stops and it's going to huddle right back up.
All right, minute 37 seconds to go, and next Saturday on CBS Sports Spectacular, we're going to have 4 exciting events for you. As heavyweight Leon Spinks faces Scott Lideau. Light heavyweight Michael Spinks meets Gary Summerhays, the Canadian champion, and heavyweight Bernardo Machado faces New York champion Greg Johnson. Followed by the World's Strongest Men competition. Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Right here with a minute and 30 seconds to go, we've got Johnny Unitas running the 2-minute drill for us as Tampa Bay trying to beat the clock. And with his team trailing by 14-6.
One thing he has to be concerned about is with the rest of his players. If the ball is complete, they're going to have to try to get out of bounds as quickly as possible. Right now, the clock does not start until the snap of the football. So let's watch and see what he's going to pull out of his pocket here.
Going to run a running play with two goals, trying to catch him napping at the 15-yard line. I was going to use another timeout, John. Is that what you would have done?
No, I wouldn't have done that. I would have been lining right up on the line of scrimmage here and going with another play. It's second down and 5 yards to go now. He did not need to take that second timeout. He's going to have to remember right now to hold his last timeout in order to try for the field goal if they do not get in.
Ball's at the 15-yard line. A touchdown, of course, would cut the lead down to only 1 point, provided, of course, they have the point after, and that would be a big psychological boost here for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who've yet to score a touchdown from scrimmage this year with his offensive unit. The only touchdown was scored by the linebacker Richard Wood, who picked up a fumble and ran it at 37 yards against the Cowboys. There's the story is we have another timeout following here. You're going to see 60 minutes, followed by Rhoda, and then on her own. And I wonder what will happen to Archie tonight and all of the families, because we've got a special hour presentation at 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Now, Archie could get in some trouble, but we're followed by my lollipop sucker, Mr. Kojak, at 10 o'clock.
He'll get old Archie out of trouble, I'm sure. Or maybe put him in more. Right here, Seattle back to the wall as Tampa Bay driving at the 15-yard line with 1 minute, 31 seconds to go. The Buccaneers have one timeout remaining.
He's got to be concerned here now, Jim, to try to pick up that first down if it's possible, or go for the touchdown. If no one is open, then just throw the ball away, throw it out of bounds, and stop the clock.
Two wide receivers to the right. He's going to the right, and he's hit his man over there, but he can't get out of bounds. That was McKay. Autry Demon made the stop.
Now he's got to get on the line of scrimmage and go with a play call there. He still has 1:18 left, so it's no big problem. There's the throw by Huff to Beeman. Fine catch, but now he should have started just to go to right out of bounds right there. Morris Owens, number 85, on reception, should have gone back right out of bounds to stop that clock with 1 minute and 1 second left to play right now.
Going to the end zone. It is caught out of bounds down there by Owens. Morris Owens caught it at the 1-yard line, and John, that's just the way you would have done it.
With an outstanding throw by Gary Huff, an outstanding catch. Here it is again. Let's take a look at it. Watch the protection here.
Football for all of them. Otto Graham to Stabler. There's never been a man run the 2-minute drill like Johnny. So John stepped in the huddle here. Tunnels watched Gary Huff faces with 2 minutes to go and about 38 yards.
Well, he's got 2 minutes to go, and he's going to have to call his 2 plays in the huddle, especially if they're passes, or 1 run play and a second play of pass, and then be ready to come back and get on the line of scrimmage again, or huddle up and take a timeout and come back in the huddle and call 2 more after that. He's got a pass play here.
Down the sidelines, and he's coming across his Owens. A nice pattern, Johnny. Brought him all the way across field through the zone of the 20-yard line.
All right, now he's got to be careful. His clock is still running. It was a fine pass by Huff. They're lining up in the huddle again. Time is still not called. Now he's called timeout, 1 minute, 37 seconds. Now what he has to do at this point, Jim, is he has to call 2 plays in the huddle, or 1 running play, and then just line up one line of scrimmage and throw the ball away if he wants to. But basically, he'll call 2 plays, and then if they're both passes, if they're completed, call a timeout again. If it's not completed, then the clock automatically stops and it's going to huddle right back up.
All right, minute 37 seconds to go, and next Saturday on CBS Sports Spectacular, we're going to have 4 exciting events for you. As heavyweight Leon Spinks faces Scott Lideau, light heavyweight Michael Spinks meets Gary Summerhays, the Canadian champion, and heavyweight Bernardo Machado faces New York champion Greg Johnson, followed by the world's strongest men competition. Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Right here with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, we've got Johnny Unitas running the 2-minute drill for us as Tampa Bay trying to beat the clock And with his team trailing by 14 to 6.
One thing you have to be concerned about is do the rest of his players, if the ball is complete, they're going to have to try to get out of bounds as quickly as possible. Right now, the clock does not start until the snap of the football. So let's watch and see what he's going to pull out of his pocket here.
Going to run a running play with Dubois, tried to catch him napping at the 15-yard line. I was going to use another timeout, John. Is that what you would have done?
No, I wouldn't have done that. I would have been lining right up on the line of scrimmage there and going with another play. It's second down and 5 yards to go now. He did not need to take that second timeout. He's going to have to remember right now to hold his last timeout in order to try for the field goal if they do not get in.
Ball's at the 15-yard line. A touchdown, of course, which kept the lead down to only 1 point, provided, of course, they have the point after, and that would be a big psychological boost here for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who's yet to score a touchdown from scrimmage this year with his offensive unit. The only touchdown was scored by the linebacker Richard Wood, who picked up a fumble and ran it in at 37 yards against the Cowboys. Well, there's the story is we have another timeout following here. You're going to see 60 minutes, followed by Roto, and then on our own. And I wonder what will happen to Archie tonight and all of the family, because we've got a special hour presentation at 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Now, Archie could get in some trouble, but we're followed by my lollipop sucker, Mr. Kojak, at 10 o'clock.
He'll get old Archie out of trouble, I'm sure. Or maybe put him in more. Right here, Seattle back to the wall as Tampa Bay driving at the 15-yard line with 1 minute, 31 seconds to go. The Buccaneers have one timeout remaining.
He's got to be concerned here now, Jim, to try to pick up that first down if it's possible, or go for the touchdown. If no one is open, then just throw the ball away, throw it out of bounds, and stop the clock.
Two wide receivers to the right. He's going to the right, and he's hit his man over there, but he can't get out of bounds. That was McKay. Autry Beeman made the stop.
Now he's got to get on the line of scrimmage and go with a play call there. He still has 118 left, so it's no big problem. There's the throw by Huff to Beeman. Fine catch, but now he should have started just to go to it right out of bounds right there. Morris Owens, number 85, on reception, should have gone back right out of bounds and stopped that clock with 1 minute and 1 second left to play right now.
Going to the end zone. It is caught out of bounds down there by Owens. Morris Owens caught it at the 1-yard line, and John, that's just the way you would have done it.
With an outstanding throw by Gary Huff, an outstanding catch. There it is again. Let's take a look at it. Watch the protection here. Huff has to move to his right a little bit with a little bit of pressure. There's the throw. Watch the catch by Owens, and watch the footwork to stay in bounds. 1-2, out of bounds, stop the clock, 56 seconds.
I'm going to say he's made a pretty good drive.
So he's done a real fine job so far. Now he's got to be understand that he has 56 seconds, only 1 timeout left, and I'm sure he'll try to get in or on the ground.
And the fake, Carter, end zone, can't hold it. That was intended in there for tight end, I believe, Butler. Gary Butler, who's been injured. A tight end couldn't hold it. But that does the job in stopping the clock.
There's a good look at Huff. He's upset. I think he's upset with himself because he overthrew Butler. Butler was open, and Huff threw off balance. Did not get the ball to him. And I'm sure he's quite upset for not giving the ball to Butler because he's standing right there in the end zone.
We saw 28 Anthony Davis return to the lineup. He's in there now with Jimmy Dubois. That's Davis. Davis looking for the end zone. Davis cut. He's got a touchdown for Tampa Bay. Anthony Davis right over the corner to score, and a beautiful drive against the clock.
That was the first touchdown for Tampa Bay this whole season, so I know they're happy about that. They've broken their jinx. They got the touchdown, the first one for Tampa Bay so far. And it was a fine drive by Gary Huff, and it was a fine run there by Anthony Davis to get in. Here it is. Take a look at it. Getting a second effort, getting across that goal line by A.D.
He beat Autry Beeman, who replaced Don Dufek, the injured strong safety, as the first touchdown score of the offense, John. Remember the one that was by Wood on the return on the defense, but that's the first one of the offensive unit. Now this could cut the lead down to 1 point. And there's the boot up by Levitt, and he's got it for Tampa Bay. And the Buccaneers are pulled back within one with 47 seconds to go in the first half. It's now a 14-13 ball game. And having worked both these bowl games, John, I'll tell you that Expansion Bowl 2 is a much more exciting game.
It's a much more exciting game than I thought it would be. I tell you, they're doing an excellent job. Both teams maintaining control of the football on the ground, throwing when they have to. And I think that was a fine drive that the Buccaneers had that time. For one principal reason, they scored a touchdown, the first offensive touchdown this season. And secondly, it has given the defense some time to sit on the bench and regroup.
All right, I think we're going to see a very exciting second half. You saw the figures there on the scoring drive by Tampa Bay, and it was engineered against under the clock by Gary Huff. And now here's the rookie Levitt, who will kick off. Alan Levitt, rookie from Georgia, and Al Hunter and Walter Packer back here. So it's Hunter on the left, and it's a bounding kick along the ground, just taken by Sherman Smith at the 25. Smith at the 35, the 40. Needed one more block, and he kills the clock very alertly at the 45-yard line. And now Seattle's got a chance here with this field position and 41 seconds to go. And John Unitas did a good job in describing the 2-minute drill a moment ago for Tampa Bay, but now Seattle's faced with a similar situation here.
Well, now Seattle, you know, if they get one first down, they can be in position for the field goal. Lightfoot has hit one from 55 yards in preseason, and he's hit another one from 50 yards in preseason, but as long as so far this game has been around 48 yards.
Had one and also had a 48-yarder last year. Myers shown his passing powers up the middle, and he has got his man Testament, the fullback, at the midfield stripe. He's into Tampa Bay territory at the 47, and Tampa Bay with timeouts remaining used one of them right here to kill the clock. Mike Lemon made a stop. I think that's the first Tampa Bay timeout, so they'll have 2 to go.
They have 2 to go. Now, he's got to be concerned about the same thing that Gary Huff was. There you see Meyer and Jack Patera conversing on the sideline. And he has got to be concerned about the timeout. You want to keep that last timeout for the field goal if they get close enough. If he's going to put the ball up in the air, then he's going to have to call 2 plays in a huddle. If the first one is not complete, then he can come back to the huddle and call 2 more. Now, he's getting his plays, I'm sure, from Jerry Rome from upstairs, so it's very difficult for a quarterback, especially when they send the plays in, to be running a 2-minute offense.
Of course, you know, the man to watch, we'll check the defense here to do, John. I'll ask you to do that to see if they're going to double-team Steve Largent, because Largent has been their home run man. You're seeing some scores in other games, and we'll bring you up to date on all the other NFL games at halftime here today. We also plan to have Jim Zorn as our halftime guest. Zorn, who was voted NFC Offensive Rookie of the Year by the NFL players last season. 30 seconds to go, and Steve Meyer, who was drafted on the 4th round last year by Seattle from the University of New Mexico as a backup for Jim Zorn. Zorn taken in as a free agent from Dallas. As a matter of fact, at that time, they had no idea who the Seattle quarterback might be. Zorn came out of the preseason, won the job, and Meyer has been more or less the opposing quarterback throughout his career. He's always played Fran Tarkenton or Bill Kilmer or somebody like that, and now he's forced to play Steve Meyer, and today he's done a brilliant job in that role. Second down about 2. Meyer on second down, racing the clock with 28 seconds to go. Meyer up the middle, he finds Testament, a fullback, and he's going to be taken down viciously. He gets the first down, but they'll kill the clock again. Richard Wood on the stop as Don Testament makes his second straight catch, second-year fullback from Clemson University. They'll start it on the 44. It'll be a first down, but with 20 seconds to go. Boy, how you guys can cram so many plays in so little time.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, now he's got to be concerned again. You know, with one timeout left, that's when he's going to have to trade for that field goal. I look for him to go downfield, try to get downfield for maybe about a 15 or 20-yard throw to get the ball closer, and then call that timeout and let Leopold come in and kick the field goal. Right now, I don't know whether they'll try a field goal position they're in now. They certainly don't have anything to lose if they do it. But I would like to, I think that they would try to get maybe 10 or 15 more yards downfield and look for a pass maybe coming across the middle and then getting down real quick.
All right, following the game, you'll see on CBS 60 Minutes, followed by Rhoda, on our own and all in the family with a special hour presentation tonight because of Eva's 50th birthday. Alice will not be seen. And then our man, Kojak, calls the play starting from 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Seattle battling back. Tampa Bay made an excellent drive under the clock. And now here's Seattle trying to get back to get at least a field goal from it. Jack Patera. Isn't it strange, Johnny, that Tampa Bay, with an offensive coach like McKay, is a defensive team, and Jack Patera, noted for his defense, he helped develop the Purple People Eaters and the Fearsome Foursome, and now he's got an offensive team.
The offensive team's moving well, too, and sure they missed their young quarterback, Jim Groen, but I think that they should be very proud of the way Steve Meyer is handling himself out there this afternoon. They're going to try to get out of bounds with this play possibly, but they have one timeout that they have to take it up to the field goal kicker.
Fake draw, and now here's Myers being run out of the pocket. There he fires downfield, and it is caught by the tight end, but it will not count. It was juggled by McCullum. Sam McCullum, who was playing a tight end post, cutting across underneath the zone, juggled the ball. You got to have possession of it. You watch him juggle it.
There it is right here. Take a look at the rush coming in. He really was not forced out of the pocket. He's just doing this on his own, probably trying to get more time to throw and to break someone open, a la Fran Tarkenton type style. There's you see the catch. One foot did go out. McCullum making the fine catch, but was too close to the sidelines to stay in. Be interesting to see now what he comes up with on this play with the same knowledge that he has 13 seconds left to get a touchdown or the field goal.
13 seconds to go. Sideline pass. He's got the tight end. Howard getting all he can. And Alabama was a smart play down to 33. But that'll mean a 50-yard attempt if they want to go now with 7 seconds to go. Mark Cotney made the stop. Still got the timeout.
They have a timeout to go yet. They're still on a first down situation. They can get a little closer yet. I imagine they may come back to that same play and try to get the ball out of bounds as quickly as possible.
Ron Howard, who caught 8 passes in the initial game for the Seahawks, didn't catch his first touchdown pass until this year, but just made a clutch catch there. 7 seconds to go. Clock is rolling. Here's Meyer up the middle to Smith, and now they immediately call timeout with 2 seconds to go. And John, they picked up 3 yards, and that should be the difference.
That could be the difference in a field goal or not a field goal. Leipold coming in now to try the field goal. And was not a bad call at all. We picked up an extra 3 yards, and the call before that, of course, went out of bounds to stop the clock.
That's going to be about a 46-yard or 45-yard try, maybe 44 for Leipold, and that's certainly within his range. He's hit them from 48 in regular season and 55 in preseason. Paul Kraft has thrown a touchdown pass. I got to hear more about that.
I don't know whether it's true or not.
43-yard attempt by John Leipold for Seattle. Oh, it's plenty long enough. Seattle beats the clock also, and an exciting first pass today at the Kingdome. The kick is good. And the Seahawks lead the field now with a 4-point lead and a little more breathing room. 17-13. Seattle over Tampa Bay, and the offensive fireworks we've seen today.
Jim, it was a fine first half for both teams showing some offense, and especially for Tampa Bay, an offense that they haven't had all season long. And I know that Coach McKay's happy about that, and the people back in Tampa are happy about that. And so I think we're going to be looking for a real fine second half coming out with a little bit more offense on both teams' part.
And a 4-point lead by the Seahawks.
We're going to show you why this 7 1/4-inch Black & Decker circular saw just might be the finest saw for the money in America.
It's not just the 1 1/3 horsepower motor or the wraparound steel fuse. It's because when it has to work really hard, it can work and work and work really hard. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
When do you think Budweiser? I say it with every stroke of my breath. When do you think Budweiser? ピザを食べながらテレビでカウボーイムービーを見るときですよ。
Right now.
or any time that's right for a cold beer is perfect for the smooth taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
When you say Budweiser,
Now that's a masterpiece.
you said it all.
Showgirls of the MGM Grand for Color Track by RCA.
Do my first toes look right here? Are my feathers green? Is my gown purple? If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. It locks in all the colors, including fresh tones. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about.
Before you see the Color Track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
In 7 years of All in the Family, you've never seen an hour-long story like this.
You know, you smell wonderful.
Oh, that's smelling blood.
Here at 6 o'clock. That's just a couple of...
Edith's 50th birthday party sets the stage for comedy and astonishing drama on a 1-hour special of All in the Family, Sunday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents a boxing triple header with gold medalist Leon Spinks taking on Scott Ledoux in a heavyweight contest. Gold medalist Michael Spinks goes against the Canadian champion Gary Summerhays in a light heavyweight matchup. 10th-ranked heavyweight Bernardo Machado tangles with Greg Johnson. And the world's strongest men competition features the wheelbarrow race. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Halftime to the King Dome in what they call Expansion Bowl 2, and holding the upper hand of Seattle 17-13. And John, the thing that impresses me is how well these coaches have had these teams poised for this. They just played an excellent first half.
It's been an excellent first half. As we've mentioned, the offensive teams have shown quite a bit of promise this afternoon. Buccaneers, of course, not being used to seeing too much offense from their football team. Mostly it's been defense, but the defense has not really played up to par, and I think you have to give the credit to the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks who have taken the ball game to them. Well, Steve Meyer's done a great job finding receivers, and Steve Larson has shown that he's got the same touch he had last year. He does. He played well. Larkin's made 2 fine catches, especially one to continue a drive when Meyer was chased out of the park. Larkin running a takeoff pattern, decided to come back when he saw that Meyer was in trouble. Meyer throwing the ball excellently down to Larkin, making the fine catch, keeping the drive alive, and then coming back for the other touchdown catch to put him ahead.
And finally, of course, Jerry Huff's pressure-packed drive under the pressure of the clock to get his team right back in the ball game. And that makes it a ball game here in the second half. We didn't tell you that Dewey Sullivan was injured in the first half and missed a lot of the second last series of the game.
Last series, they wanted to keep him out so that they could come back to the halftime and see what's going to happen for the second half.
Okay, there's the string broken of the Atlanta Falcons, Johnny. As we look at other scores, it's been the best start Atlanta's ever had, and Buffalo having a tough time over there. They broke out, won their first game of the season on a field goal.
That was a great win for Jim Ringo, the first one that's been head coach up there. That looked more like a baseball score than a football score. 3-0, a great defensive battle.
And Green Bay over Detroit. This is one of the oldest rivalries in the game. 94th time they played, and the Packers won it. Whatever the Cardinals' problems were, they partly solved them today.
Well, St. Louis 21, Philadelphia 17, and I'm sure Jimmy Hart played a fine ball game. They just have shown a little inconsistency the last few weeks.
San Francisco losing another one, so they're having their problems down there.
Oh, it happened to a good friend of mine, Joe Thomas, and glad to see the Giants win that one, 20-17.
Another big victory for the Giants, who had a couple of thrillers this year, including the opening game over Washington. They play next week. Baltimore, your old team, over Kansas City, 17-6.
Baltimore still unbeaten, 17-6, and Bert Jones and company did it again.
Mentioned a pretty good quarterback there who's now playing for the Colts. Well, those are the final scores that we have. There's some other games, of course, going around the league. Well, here's another final. What an exciting game that must have been, and Cleveland has really come back.
Horace Gregg has done an outstanding job with the Cleveland Browns. And 24-23 over Houston, New Orleans, 7, and Los Angeles 7 in the second period.
Rams are having their problems. I understand Pat Hayden was supposed to start there today in place of Joe Namath. And